good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have with us on our program, Zoom In, a very special guest. Today we have with us the director, Hassan Reda. And in this context, Hassan Reda is going to be discussing with us the difference between feature films and documentary films. The director, Hassan Reda, is worth to mention that Hassan is the grandson of the renowned director Hassan Reda, and he is the student of the great renowned director Ali Badr Khan. And Hassan Reda participated in a number and many actually festivals, among which is Sa'it al-Sawi Festival for short film feature films, attaining the prize of Best Montage for the film Al-Ascenseur, or The Elevator. He also attained the Golden Award for the film Zawaya Mukhtalifa, or From a Different Point of View. To know more about feature films, documentary films, we're joined with the great director Hassan Reda. A very good afternoon, sir, and a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Hassan, can you please tell us the difference between documentary films and short feature films, please?
Documentary films is about documenting facts, whether it's historic facts or a phenomenon in the streets, in society. But in feature films, it's about writing a story from the imagination of the writer, and it has nothing to do with facts, or maybe sometimes it is based on true facts. But that's the difference. Documentaries are documenting real facts in reality. But in feature films, it's just a story from the imagination.
So feature film is a story film, and documentary films are solid facts on the ground that we turn into films.
Such as the events of the revolution, for example, the events of...
major events that take place.
Of sexual harassment in the streets, for example. Phenomena.
Street children,
real facts,
child abuse, these are documentaries?
Yeah.
Eu lembro-me que eu muitas vezes chorava.
Estou a montar as minhas empresas privadas. Empresário, não capitalista, mas empresário.
Bazooka! Bazooka!
El dorado africano era la mejor escuela para un aprendiz de capitalista.
Nós hoje temos necessidades em recrutar profissionais.
Hay que dejar de pensar como emigrante.
5 séculos de contacto, digo contato, não desculpa, de contacto com o Ocidente. Esse contacto deixou muitos resquícios, não é?
Então eles não estão preparados a que as pessoas se levantem contra eles. Para eles é tipo suicida demais.
As pessoas achavam que a cozinha era mesmo para as mulheres.
O povo unido jamais será vencido.
Para já sou mulher, sou logo discriminada. Não há exemplos. Os exemplos que nós temos são para outras coisas.
O que está acontecendo na cidade de Luanda hoje, eu posso dizer mesmo, é crime.
Mushima, ué, Mushima, ué, Mushima.
Temos muito trabalho pela frente e temos um país para construir. E que só vamos construir todos juntos, não vale a pena pensar que vai ser de forma diferente. A identidade está sempre a levar sempre pedras, a levar sempre tijolos, vai fazer...
What's the difference between a normal film that we watch in cinemas and short feature films?
Normal films, it has more production, more budget. There are production companies.
Spend on the film financially.
Exactly. But the short feature films are just independent films. They mostly they are independent films. They are produced by the director mostly, or it's produced from a short group of people. It's not from a company.
So you mean that the budget of a film, that a normal film, which we watch in cinemas, normal films, is much bigger than feature films.
More higher budget,
and it's much more higher. Yeah. And you mean that anybody could be able to produce a short feature film,
depending on the idea of the movie. If the idea of the story of the movie, if it needs a higher budget, maybe it will need the aid of a production company or a production house. But it's all about to make a very effective story in a feature film with a low budget while doing it. That's the challenge of making a feature film. So that's what I'm going through.
Which is easier to do and which is more difficult to do? A feature film is easier than a normal film, or is it more difficult but it takes less time and it takes less effort?
As for the idea, as for compressing the idea, the short movie is more difficult, of course. But as for the equipments, the time, the effort that are spent to make a movie, it's of course the long feature movie is more difficult. Of course,
it's more in effort and
yeah, exactly.
لا والنبي ما هي متلقحه يا اختي بقالها شهر، ما عملتهاش ليه؟
طيب يا ماما انا نازله، مع السلامه.
بالسلامه يا اختي.
You attained the prize for the best montage in the festival Saqiyat Al-Sawi, as I said in my introduction, for the film The Elevator or L'Ascenseur. The idea of the film, could you tell us more about the idea of the film, please?
Well, the idea of The Elevator, it's about three men with three different ideologies, three different point of views. The first it goes with the is a Salafi, as they say. It's with the religious part.
You mean to say that the first person is a religious man?
Yeah, there is a religious man
from the Salafi.
Yeah, exactly. The second person is the liberal, and the third person is a socialist. So completely
so you have three different characters.
Exactly. Imagine if those characters are trapped inside an elevator.
Oh my God.
What they could do to each other.
How long were they trapped in the elevator?
Like 10 minutes. And no, like 8 minutes, because the movie is 10 minutes. The first 2 minutes, they didn't ride the elevator yet. So it's like 8 minutes they were fighting and about politics, and each one is blaming the other.
Who is the reason for the problem that's taking place, for them being trapped in the elevator?
Yeah.
Or they're discussing different political ideas and issues that are taking place?
They are discussing different point of views about who's right, about who is the more right ideology that.
And who turns out to be the right one at the end of the film?
No one.
No one.
In the end, the Salafi, he got tired because he has phobia from enclosed places, and he couldn't breathe, and he passed out.
He passed away?
No, passed out. He didn't pass away. He passed out. And in that moment, they forgot about their differences, and they have to help this man because he's dying, and they team up together, the socialist and the liberal, to help the Salafi and to get out of the elevator. And in the end, we are all human.
So at the end of the film, the irony of the film was that they overcome their differences and they helped each other because they needed help.
Yeah,
this was the main idea of the film.
We are all Egyptians.
That we are all Egyptians, and at the end of the day, if we have differences in ideologies, but we're going to be helping each other to overcome problems, and humanity overcomes everything.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. تفضل.
طالع فين يا شيخ؟
العاشر إن شاء الله.
يبقى احنا كده كلنا طالعين نفس الدور.
إذا تفضلت، هي الساعة كام دلوقتي؟
الساعة دلوقتي 12:30.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله، أنا فاتني ميعاد الدواء.
إيه ده؟ ده في ماتش مهم جدا كمان نص ساعة، أنا إزاي سقطت الحوار ده؟
ماتش مين ومين؟
ريال مدريد وتشيلسي.
يعني مليار دولار بيجروا في الملعب وناس كتير بتموت من الجوع في أماكن تانية.
الله إيه ده؟
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. يا ستي يا رب، إيه اللي حصل يا شباب؟
طب إيه؟
المأمور لسه شغال، يعني الأسانسير عطل من نفسه.
طب يا جماعة، حد يخبط على الباب، يمكن حد يسمعنا.
يا اللي هنا، حد سمعنا؟ يا جماعة،
يا اللي هنا، ما حد سمعنا ولا إيه؟ هو البواب مش تحت؟
مش عارف يظهر كده. هي البلد دي ما فيهاش حاجة عدلة ولا إيه؟
ما هو ده بقى العادي في البلد دي، كهرباء تقطع بالساعات، أسانسيرات تتعطل، حاجة بقت تقرف.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. يا أخي اذكر الله.
إيه يا شيخنا، أنت هتكفرني ولا إيه؟
يا أخي هو أنا لما أقول لك وحد الله يبقى كده بكفرك؟
الأسانسير العطلان ده حاجة والدين حاجة تانية على فكرة.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. ده كلام واحد مش قريب من ربنا. استغفر الله العظيم. يا أستاذ، الدين مرتبط بكل حاجة.
Okay, Hassan, there is the idea of attaining a montage, a prize for montage happens and takes place very rarely. What was different in the montage of this film that made you gain this exclusive prize?
Well, first of all, because the elevator that we shoot it in is not actually an elevator. It was like a booth we built from wood, and we put a mirror inside it, like in any elevator has a mirror, and we paint it, and then we shoot inside this booth, and after we took the shots, I edited because I'm an editor as well. I edited on the Final Cut software, and I used many sound effects from an elevator. The sound when the elevator stops, the sound when the elevator arrives to the floor, the aiming floor that they aim to. Many different sounds that proves that this is an elevator. So I used these sounds and the angles that I used to make the viewer believe that this is an actual elevator.
So you didn't only work on directing the film, you also made the montage of the film, you made the sound effect of the film, you edited the film.
I did the same with all the rest of my movies.
So you have to supervise every single part of your movie when you're directing a movie. You have to be supervising everything.
Sometimes the script, but always the directing and always the editing, the montage.
So sometimes you get to handle the script
and sometimes
as well.
Acting as well.
So it's really,
yeah.
So it's editing, acting, and sound effects, directing. So you do everything.
We'll come to the acting part later. So.
Okay, we have to move on to another film now from a different point of view. Is a film that, or زوايا مختلفة, is another film that you attained a Golden Award for this film. The reason behind the name of the film, which is a really different name from my own point of view.
Well, the reason for the name is that's because in 3/4 of the time of the movie, the angle of the camera is from a different point of view. It's not just the camera; it's also the idea of the story. It's from a different point of view.
Hassan, sorry to interrupt you. Experimentally, here's a camera from a different point of view with regards to the camera. Could you please explain more for the viewers to understand? And I need to understand more.
I'll tell you. I'm coming to this part. Well, I try to make the point of view not from a human, not from an animal. It's from a thing, from a pin. The main character in the movie is a child. Okay, his mother is telling him to put a pin in his shirt before he goes to school. And he said, I'm a grown up now. I don't need to use this stuff now. And he dropped the pin. From here, the pin turned to the camera. He kicked the pin under a cupboard. And the pin is under the cupboard. You are seeing his life from under the cupboard, from the point of view of the pin. So and the years went on, and he grown up. His mother is gone old, and then she passed away, and he decided to sell the house. And all of that you're seeing from under the cupboard. You don't see faces. You're not seeing faces. You only see body moves. You're seeing body language between characters, and you're hearing voices. Then the man decided to sell the house. He decided to sell the furniture. Because he's getting married and he's going to move with his wife abroad. And when he moved the furniture and he moved the cupboard, that's the...
Here we come to the pin and we find the pin at the end of the
He found the pin, and when he found the pin, he remembered his mother and all his memory with her. And then because of the pin, he decided not to sell the house and keep everything, the furniture as it was, to respect the memory of his mother. And his mother was a widowed woman, and she sacrificed so much to raise him, her only child.
يلا يا حبيبي هتتأخر على المدرسة. تعالى وريني كده بقى. ايه ده؟ فين الدبوس؟
ما اعرفش، انا لقيت القميص كده الصبح.
لقيت القميص كده الصبح
وبعدين الدبوس بيخنقني.
حسن ما تضيعش نفسك بعندك يا بابا، انت جايب قميص اكبر من سنك يبقى لازم تربط دبوس عشان ما تبردش. وريني كده الكرافات. خدي بالك نضفي كويس تحت المكتبة وحاولي توصلي لاخرها من تحت، دي تقيلة قوي محدش بيعرف يحركها. بعد ما تخلصي حصليني على المطبخ عشان نعمل تورته عيد ميلاد حسن، ماشي؟
حاضر يا مدام.
النهارده حبيبي تم 14 سنة.
ربنا يحميهم ويشوفوكوا لبعض.
يعني ايه مش هتيجي تحتفل معايا بعيد ميلادك زي كل سنة؟ انت مش كنت الصبح مع اصحابك واحتفلتوا مع بعض؟ يعني ايه كبرت؟ انت فين دلوقتي؟ طب هتأخر؟ ماشي، انا مش هنام وهفضل صاحي مستنياك، واوعى تقفل موبايلك، سامعني؟ مع السلامة.
انا مش قادر افهم، يعني انت عايزاني افضل محبوس جنبك في البيت ده ولا ايه؟
وانا لما اقول لك ذاكر وركز في مستقبلك يبقى انا كده عايز احبسك في البيت، وبعدين مره تانية لما تيجي تتكلم معايا توطي صوتك، انت فاهم؟
لا مش هوطي صوتي، لازم اعلي صوتي عشان انت ما تسمعيش.
لا والله،
وانا راجل واعمل اللي انا عايزه، انا كبرت خلاص.
لا انا ما سهرتش وتعبت كل السنين اللي فاتت دي عشان اعملك راجل وفي الاخر تقول لي انا حر. طول ما انت بتاخد فلوسك ومصروفك من جيبي ومن معاش ابوك الله يرحمه مالكش حاجه في البيت ده، انت فاهم؟
مش عايز اتكلم معاك، انا خلاص زهقت.
لو رجلك خطت العتبه دي اوعى ترجع البيت ده تاني.
فيني وانا بخرج.
How did you come up with the idea of this film? How it's a really different film from my own point of view. How did you come up with the idea?
Well,
and what's the irony of the film?
Well, this film, I was preparing this film originally to a festival in Dubai. It was...
to participate in a festival,
yes,
you mean?
Yes, yes. And this festival demanded that the movies has to be connected with a pin. The story of the movie must be connected to a pin. I don't know, don't ask me why, but that's every year.
It was a condition, one of the conditions of the festivals.
Yes.
That if you want to participate in this festival, then the film has to be about a pin.
Exactly. The condition, for example, for last year or 2 years ago was about a mirror, for example.
So each year they come up with a different idea for the festival. So all the films that are participating in the festival discuss pins?
Yes.
And last year were mirrors?
Yes. And no, last year was the pin.
No, the year before
ago,
it was the mirrors.
And that's why I've mixed the fantasy, the fantasia with the drama, you know.
So who comes up with the ideas of the films? Who writes down the films?
I come with the idea. Sometimes I write them.
You write again?
I write the script. The script. When you write written by someone, written by means the person who wrote the script and the dialogue. But the story itself, the idea, is something else. Maybe it belongs to someone else. So the idea is mine, but sometimes I write the script, and sometimes in some movies I don't write the script. So
we move on to another very important film you directed, which is Bambino. And Bambino is a comic short feature film.
My first comedy movie. Yeah.
And as we know, comic short feature films are very rare.
Exactly.
How did the idea of the film come up?
Well, the idea was not special, like from a different point of view. It was a normal movie. Again, I did Bambino from a different point of view, so it
was much easier.
Yeah, the idea is much easier, and it's predictable. You can say it's predictable. It's about a rich woman who has an only child, only man, who is married, and he doesn't give children. and he hided this fact from his mother. So and his mother wanted a child, wanted a grandson, or else she's not going to give her money when she passed away.
He's not going to be inheriting anything from his mom if he doesn't deliver a son.
Exactly.
She wants a grandson, and then what happens?
So he and his wife decided
to adopt someone
because they want the money badly. So they did not adopt. They want the son of their gardener, that he is going to be born after 7 months. So the guy talked to the gardener and told him that your son, your next born son, after 7 months, he's going to be ours, and I'm going to pay you whatever you want. And he refused at first, but when they gave him
a big bulk of money.
Then he quickly accepted.
He accepted, and he was okay.
And then after 7 months, while the 7 months, during the 7 months, they tried to fake the pregnancy of his wife. And they put a pillow under her clothes, and the mother was so excited, and she was old, and they thought they were the game is going well with her, and she's buying it. And
then what happens?
And then in the end, we discovered that she knows everything from.
How did she know everything?
She know everything. You can't fake a pregnancy for 7 months. In front of an old woman. It's impossible. But they didn't know that. So, but despite that, she acted like she's accepting,
and she gave them the money.
And she's buying what they're telling her, and she's acted that she's very excited, like a child.
She gave them the money at the end.
No, she gave them to the
charity.
Yeah, to the charity.
Really?
Yeah.
Why did she do this? To teach them a lesson?
To teach them a lesson, but after she realized that her son doesn't give children in the first place.
Is unable to give birth.
In the first place, yeah, and she decided to change her mind. And before she did that, and she was talking to the lawyer on the phone, before she did that, she
passed away.
She passed away. She stepped on a car, a toy car, and then she passed away.
أنا ماليش دعوة، أنت لازم تخلف، جو أم بيبي. يا ابني يا حبيبي، فرحني ولو مرة واحدة في حياتك بحفيدي ملالي دنيتي. طب ليه؟ خلف من نادين، خلف من غيرها، ماليش دعوة، اتصرف، المهم إن أنت تخلف. أف، زهقتني، سنريانا فورا بك موا.
إزاي من غير نادين يعني؟ يا مامي، سي امبوسيبل. يا مامي بس استنى.
ولعلمك بقى، انت لو ما خلفتش الفلوس المتلتله اللي انت بتحلم بيها دي مش هتطول منها مليم احمر بعد ما اموت. مام بانسو.
يا مامي استني بس.
جاك مو.
هو انا مش كفايه اني مداريه على يابك وساكته يا شيري؟
وانا ناقصك انت التانيه؟ انا مش فاهم، امال لو ما كنتش ابنها الوحيد كانت عملت فيا ايه؟
هي دي بيفرق معاها ابنها الوحيد ولا ابنها العاشر؟ دي ست قادره ومفتريه. يا ساتر.
انا جات لي فكره تخلينا نخلف.
بجد؟ ايوه بقى، بس وعدني اول ما نورث توديني على باريس نعمل شوبينج. وتجيب لي كوليه دايموند اللي وريتهولك، العربيه اللي نفسي فيها.
هو ده كل اللي همك؟ انت اصلا مش عارفه الفكره اللي في دماغي. كبر الكلام.
Film turned out to be a success.
The audience liked it when it was first premiered in Saudi Culture Reel. And that was the only time that I participated with this movie in a film festival.
Which film festival?
Saudi Culture Reel. Yeah. Yeah, it was last April. So I'm not sure. I don't prefer this movie so much.
Why don't you prefer it?
Because it's not a film festival type of movie, you know. It's more commercial. It's the story is more commercial than it's.
It's a window film, you mean?
Exactly.
Why did you participate in the festival with this film when you think that it wasn't?
It was my first try to do that.
If you thought that it wasn't suitable for the festival, then
maybe it's suitable for another film festivals. Who knows? But what after that movie was.
So you mean for the film Bambino is the first film that you did direct?
No. It's my first commercial type of movie that I
comic. Comic and commercial.
Yeah. And because of this movie, I got phone calls from two producers who liked the movie, and they told me, "I like the way you make a movie like this with the simple equipments," and so that's because it's commercial. So that's why he's calling me.
Financially, how are you supported, Hassan? Who supports you financially, in other words, to be easier for them?
Well, the movies doesn't have very high budget like you imagine, but it's a very low budget. It doesn't pass the 1,000 Egyptian pounds. So.
How much again?
1,000 Egyptian
for
pounds.
A whole film?
Bambino was like 1,500 Egyptian pounds because
the revenues,
the equipments, we rent equipments, light equipment, sound equipments. We rent them for the day of shooting, and Bambino
It takes one day to shoot this feature.
No, Bambino we took 2 days.
2 days.
Yes. Some movies maybe can take 1 day and shooting, but Bambino took 2 days of shooting.
The revenues of the film, do you gain money out of a production of such a short feature comic film?
Well, if I have a production company or a company that distribute my work, maybe I will have money. But
you never thought of distributing the film or selling it to a channel, or even giving it to any different channel as a jest from you to gain this fame and for the people to watch your films more? You never thought of this?
I'm planning of selling the movies to different channels, but first I have to go through film festivals to participate with those movies to film festivals.
So you have to go through different steps to reach this point where you're going to be selling those films. But you have to, if they're viewed on TV channels, then you cannot participate in festivals.
No, you can't.
You can't. That's why you have to go for the festivals first, and then you're planning on selling. Do you have offers from any channels or any individuals to buy those films?
No, but maybe they don't know about it yet because I didn't.
You didn't advertise for them yet. So you didn't talk about them yet.
Yeah, but I have my YouTube channel that I have.
The social media. So exactly. You're trying to advertise your films through social media,
yeah.
And you have many. Participators on your page.
I made the YouTube channel for like 4 years now, I have like 500 subscribers.
You have lots of subscribers.
Not so much, but I am aiming for the 1 million subscriber.
Hopefully you will if you have this.
That's my goal.
Yes, if you have this target, then hopefully you will be. Do you, on YouTube, if I open your page on YouTube, do I watch the films or just ideas about the films?
You'll watch the movies. Some movies you won't find because I'm making them unlisted because
you want to participate in the festivals, so they cannot
until I'm
watched.
done with the festivals, then I'm making it public so everybody can watch them. But on the other hand, there are some movies, they are public. You can find them by typing the name of the movie on search on YouTube, and you'll find them, or by typing my name, Hassan Reda, on YouTube, and you'll find my channel with my name on it, Hassan Reda. And don't forget to subscribe.
انت لو ما خلفتش الفلوس المتنتله اللي انت بتحلم بيها دي مش هتطول منها مليم احمر بعد ما اموت.
هو انا مش كفايه مداريه على عيبك وساكته؟
هو ده الحل، مفيش غير كده.
واللي مني مزعلني، واللي مني عايزين مني، الكلام ده ماهوش بكيفي.
الله 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 الله.
سعادة البيه علي بيه، يا مرحب يا مرحب يا علي بيه، يا اهلا وسهلا يا اهلا وسهلا، منور والله يا باشا.
جابر، اخبارك ايه؟
الحمد لله يا باشا، كله تمام
يا رب دايما. ورد طرح هناك اهو.
ايوه يا بيه، الورد طلع، ما هو ده الموسم بتاعه.
والولاد عاملين ايه؟
بخير الحمد لله، متربيين في خيرك يا باشا.
اديك انت اللي بتقول اهو، يعني انا ياما اديتك، مفيش مشكله لو خدت منك مره؟
اديتنا ايه يا بيه وتاخد مني ايه؟
بص انا يعني قبل ما اكلمك في حاجه احب اكد لك انك مش هتخسر اي حاجه. انت يعني طول، بعرض، متين، صحتك بومب، ما شاء الله يعني.
ما شاء الله يا بيه.
We move on to another film which is الحاضر الغائب or the absent presence. What is the idea of this film? And here we come to a third different idea.
It's a dark kind of movie. It's suspense.
So we moved on. We discussed the political one where we had the three different ideologies: the Salafi, you said the liberal, and the socialist. And we moved to a comic film, Bambino, and then we're moving on to a dark film now, which is the absent presence or الحاضر الغائب. Tell us more about the film.
Well, it's about drug addiction. It's about drug addiction, yeah. And it's about the conflict that the man has with himself, and trying to get away from everything he loved in his life because of his depression, and he get addicted to the desperation. He get addicted to desperation, and that's controlling his life. This addiction is controlling his life.
Why did he get addicted in the first place?
Because of desperation.
He was, you mean, or depressed?
No, desperate. He was both.
So he was desperate and he was depressed.
Yeah. And this desperation turned to an addiction through drug addiction. And then he's tried to escape from his life because of this desperation. And in the end, he realized that he's regretting this choice of leaving his life because he won't able to come back to this life again because he will pass away in the end. He will pass away from overdose in the end.
And the relation and the bond between the name of the film and the idea of the film.
When you are on drug addiction, when you are on drug, you are absent, but you are present. You are absent in soul, but you are present in body. Physically, you're present, but mentally, you're not present. You are absent. So that's the relation for the name.
ومحدش عارف الخير فين. وبعدين هي اصلا هتلاقي زيك فين؟ شاب زي الورد. اي نعم الدنيا ملخبطه معاه شويه يعني، بس معلش ظروف البلد كده. والشباب اللي في سنك مش لاقيين شغل اصلا. والله يا ابني، والله انا ما قصرتش معاك ولا مره. علمتك احسن علام. انا وابوك الله يرحمه عمره ما قصر معاك. يا ابني برضو مش هترد عليا؟ طيب كده مش هقول لك بقى المفاجاه اللي عاملاها لك. لا برضو انت ابن حبيبي اللي طلعت بيه من الدنيا. شفت لك يا واد يا احمد حته دين رؤيا امبارح بعد ما صليت في المسجد النبوي وانا قاعده بدعي لك. والله كنت بدعي لك وانت على نفسي، بس شفتك في مشاكل كتير وهي بسيطه.
قولي لي بقى يا احمد، تعالى بقى ادينا حبيبتي.
ايه يا ابو حميد، ينفع كده اكلمك اكتر من 500,000 مره ما تردش عليا؟ خلاص نسيت اصحابك يا برو، نسيت الناس الحلوه. ماشي يا عم. طب ايه، مفيش حاجه علينا يابا، كنا خلاص علمناهم الشحاته سابونا في الاشارات. مفيش السفاهه دي يابا اللي علمناها لك. بس بقول لك ايه،
حاجة بسيطة not that bad. Tell us more about this film.
Well, it's about the violence against women and about sexual abusement, not sexual harassment, sexual abusement, and how in the end the girl, the main character in the movie, got her retribution from the man who abused her in public in the street. She got her retribution through that this man, in the end, is the same man who want to engage her sister. She discovered that you want to see the man who wanted to engage her sister, and when she met him, she found out that he is the same man who abused
Sexually
her.
harassed her.
Not sexually harassed her. He abused her in the street. And hit her.
Abused her, insulted her.
Insulted her, yeah, insulted her, and assaulted her in front of the public in the street because of a simple thing, because she was passing in front of him while he was driving his car, and then she tried to ignore him, and then he got mad. And
then what was the turnout of all of this when she recognized that? She figured out that he's the one that wants to get engaged to her sister. How did this?
She faced him face to face with a silent reaction, and he was like embarrassed in front of her sister, the girl that he wanted to engage. And he didn't know what to say, and in the end the movie ends like this. It's an open ending.
So do you think as you left it an open end, do you think that one day you're gonna be making another part for this film, a second part for this film, or a feature film? There can never be another second part.
It's meant to be an open ending.
You like it like this?
Yes, it's meant to be like this.
But viewers don't like open endings.
No.
Eventually, we always have problems with open endings. That we want to know the end.
You know, the good thing about open endings is that it makes the movie unforgettable.
And it makes for the viewer brainstorming.
Yes.
That you keep on thinking what's
going to about the movie when he leaves the theater or he leaves.
But at the end of the day, the viewer wants an end.
Yes.
Wants a conclusion to what was happening.
Imagine what the ending could possibly be. So he keeps thinking about the movie, and that's a good thing in other hand, viewers see different movies and they forget about the movie when it's finished. Immediately after it's done, they forget about the movie. Okay, this is a good movie. Okay, next.
الله ما تكلميني يا بنت انت مش بكلمك.
اوعى يا حيوان، بقول لك اوعى سيبني، اوعى الحقوني.
يلا غوري.
ايه يا نيس، انت كويسه؟ سرق منك حاجه؟
لا، الحيوان اللي هناك ده اتحرش بيا ورماني في الشارع.
بصي، اهم حاجه انك كويسه وحصل خير، يعني حاجه بسيطه حاجه بسيطه.
اتأخرتي ليه كده؟
معلش يا ماما، عديت على الصيدلية كنت بجيب حاجة.
ايه يا بنتي مالك، في ايه؟ حاجة؟ انت كويسة؟
الحمد لله. هو ايه الأخبار؟
والله العريس قاعد في البلكونة مع أختك وربنا يسهل إن شاء الله، ادعي ربنا كده يكرمهم إن شاء الله، هو باين عليه عريس طيب.
ربنا يقدم اللي فيه الخير.
عايزاكي الوقت تغسلي وشك كده وتظبطي نفسك عشان تقدمي لهم العصير، ماشي حبيبتي؟ يلا.
الحيوان اللي هناك ده اتحرش بيا ورماني في الشارع.
اهم حاجه انك كويسه وحصل خير، يعني حاجه بسيطه حاجه بسيطه حاجه بسيطه.
يا مي، يلا يا مي، الناس قاعدين بره، يلا عشان تقديم العصير.
حاضر يا ماما.
Another point where you directed 5 documentary films, 2 discussing the revolution and the names of this film. Could you tell us more about the names of the film?
Well, I made 2 movies, 2 documentaries about the Egyptian Revolution, an Egyptian Revolution story, and an Egyptian Revolution story 2, the aftermath. They are 2 sequels.
So one is the revolution, the other one is the aftermath of the revolution.
Exactly. The events after the revolution to the beginning of the trial of Hosni Mubarak. So that was the second part. I was aiming to make a third part, but I didn't do
Why
it.
didn't you?
Because the events got really complicated and a lot of more research. You don't know who's right and who's wrong, and
so you got mixed up.
So I got interested in another story, in another documentary that I made. It's about the Libyan revolution.
Oh.
Another more interesting events, to be honest.
Did you discuss the Muammar al-Qaddafi in your film?
Yeah.
Did you talk more about him?
Yeah, I talked more about him. I got the first award ever in a film festival because of this movie. It's called Desert Rage, Chronicles of Gaddafi. It's about the life of the most important events in Muammar Gaddafi's life with his family, and it's also talking about the Libyan revolution, and I was trying to focus on the speeches of Muammar Gaddafi.
Yes, this is a very important issue.
Yeah, and
so the film, the documentary is a little bit funny.
No, it's not funny.
Sarcastic?
It's not sarcastic. It's propaganda. I began the film with the propaganda, and I ended the movie with the truth that a few people know about it. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. I'm focusing on the speeches of Gaddafi, on the most important things that he talked about, and it came out to be real in the end, and
unfortunately,
and the media was
making fun of
Gaddafi, trying to make us think that he's crazy, and all the stuff he's talking about in his speeches are hocus pocus.
So Hassan, the focus of the documentary you did about the Libyan revolution was the speeches that Muammar al-Qaddafi used to say and or used to deliver, and the importance of the sarcasm that the media made of this speeches. This was your focus of your film.
The media was making fun of him. The global media was making fun of him. Most of them was making fun of him because he was telling the truth. He was saying in his speeches stuff that it shouldn't be said in speeches because of security issues, but he didn't care.
He didn't even give a damn.
He didn't care. He didn't lie to his people. He was saying he was a direct person. All the stuff he talked about was real in the end, and all the warnings that he said in his speeches come to be true in the end. And a lot of Libyans know that.
Hassan, what is the length of a short feature movie? Is it a maximum of 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes? We need to know the length.
The maximum of the duration of a short movie is to 59 minutes, exactly. 59 minutes.
59 minutes.
Yes.
Can it be less than 59 minutes? Can it be more than 59 minutes? Or?
It can be less than 59 minutes, but not every film festival accepts short movies to be more than 20 minutes, for example. But in general, it's the maximum duration time for the short movie is 59 minutes. The minimum time for a long feature film is 60 minutes. It's after it by 1 minute.
Hassan, we are very grateful to have you here today with us on Zoom In, our very exclusive edition of our episode. We wish you, we wrap up today's episode wishing you more and more success in your future, more and more success in your field, and we hope you being the best. We had with us today, ladies and gentlemen, a young, excelling caliber in the field of directing short feature films, documentaries, and moreover, he's been participating in many festivals. Hope you enjoyed being with us as much as we have. We thank very much Hassan Reda for being with us today in the studio. Thank you so much, sir. And until we meet again in another episode of Zoom In from all the team here, myself, Rana Qassas, thank you so much for joining.